Welcome back to day 8 of the Choose Life Quest. This week we're going to be focusing on the principles of planting and reaping. Today we're going to be focusing specifically on the principle of planting seeds in your life. The first major step of the agricultural cycle is planting. Nothing happens if you don't plant seeds. That's important not just because it's the very first step, but because what you plant determines what it is you're going to harvest later on. The principle is the same in life. The seeds that you sow in your life today are going to directly influence whatever it is that you are going to harvest sometime into the future. That means that every action, every thought, every word that comes out of our mouths is a seed that we're planting in our life. And the fruit of whatever that action, thought, or word is will blossom into something in the future. It might be 5 minutes from now, or it might be decades later in life. But either way, the seeds that we sow will always yield something. So today, I want you to focus on asking yourself a question. Why are you doing this quest? We're just starting the second week. We're getting into these principles. Why are you still here? Why are you sticking to this? Is it because you love the fruit that you have in your life and you want exactly that same fruit on into the future? I imagine that you're doing this quest because you want change. You want something different in your life than what you've been getting all along up to this point. If you're dedicating a small part of every day for this whole 30 days to this quest, listening to these lessons, doing the exercises, putting in the time and the effort, recognize that these are seeds that you're planting that are going to give you a different fruit than what you've gotten up to this point. So what does that mean? What are we supposed to do with that information? If you only get one thing out of the lesson today, it's this. What you plant today determines what you harvest tomorrow, or next week, or next year, or decades from now. So with that in mind, I want you to think about this. What harvest do you want? Take a moment, take some time, go for a walk, or maybe do it right where you're sitting. But deeply consider and consciously decide, what fruit do you want to harvest from the time that you're putting in here? When you have that firmly concluded, strong in your mind, understanding consciously what it is you want to come away from this quest with, I want you to say it out loud. Write it down. There is a purpose in this, a utility in saying things, in writing them down, committing them to something in reality that you can look at. I like to put things on Post-it notes and stick them up on my monitor, on my wall, on my desk. They're there, they're brightly colored, and they're consistently jumping out at me so that I can keep remembering them, so that they stay in the front of my mind. The point of what we're doing here is intention and being mindful and aware of these goals. Whatever your harvest is that you want to come as a result of this time, have it there where you can see it and remember it consistently. What are you doing all this for? Take the time, say it, write it down for yourself. Consider that harvest, that goal, and look around you now today. What are you doing to make that harvest a reality? What seeds are you planting in your life? Your thoughts, your words, your actions. Are those leading to the harvest that you have written down? Some of the seeds you're planting may be directed toward that harvest, and some won't. That's all right. Today is the day that you can begin to affect that outcome, that you can start planting more seeds consistently toward that harvest. And that's where you have the choice. The seeds you sow today can lead to the harvest that you want, or they can lead to more of everything you have in your life already. The same seeds will lead to the same outcomes that you've always gotten. You get to choose. So, are you planting the same seeds to get the same harvest as always? Or are you going to make the decision to plant new seeds, to have new thoughts, to take new actions, to give you a different outcome? Every thought, every action is a seed planted. So choose wisely what it is you plant. Do you want abundance in your life? Well, sow seeds of abundance freely. Do you want a harvest of deep, meaningful relationships? Well, then you need to sow seeds of outgoing concern, support, gratitude, and friendliness. Consider the harvest you want and make sure that the seeds you plant today will give you the harvest that you want in the future. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.